as well. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Ah, cool. Hey, it's Chris Byrne.
Hey, Chris.
Hi.
How are you?
Great. So if someone doesn't know my name, I'm the AnarchAngel, and I run the gun counter. I have been to Appleseed. I've actually been to 2 Appleseeds, but I ended up not shooting at one of them because I wasn't feeling too well. And I have to say a couple of things. One, I was actually on PDB's original debate thread on this a year ago or so, and my opinion hasn't changed on the Appleseed program. It is not for beginners. They like to say that it is, and in some ways I can see how it would be, but the problem is that if this is your first experience with any kind of formalized shooting training, you are going to get some bad ideas. Let's put it that way. Okay, you're going to get some bad habits. It's important to get the basic level rifle marksmanship that they do teach, and they do a very good job of that in some ways. However, you need to have some good basic habits of gun handling and good basic habits of marksmanship other than rifle marksmanship before you take it. Okay, that's one thing. Now, another thing, the volunteers. Some of them are spectacular, but they're volunteers, they're local, you never know who you're going to get. A lot of the guys involved in the Appleseed movement are, quite frankly, batshit insane.
To put it nicely, right?
They're black helicopter types. They're 50 years old, 50 pounds overweight, and show up in full-on ACUs with, molly packs and the whole thing. They really think the UN is coming to get them. They often sell anti-government stuff in the parking lots and things like that. So there's a lot of that stuff that isn't really something you want to have new shooters around. Finally, the actual course of fire is intentionally physically painful. The way they run it, they drop you on the ground a lot. You drop down, jump up, etc. I think that's a perfectly valid training technique for someone who is taking advanced training. For a beginner, for someone who is not very physically fit, for someone who's not used to that, it's very discouraging. It's very, very painful. It really is, especially if you don't have a good quality shooting mat, and most people don't. So all of those things together, I think the Appleseed program is great for what it does, and that is instill rifle marksmanship. And everything else makes it something that you need to have perspective and you need to have some experience so that you can deal with it without either being turned off completely to the entire shooting world and organized training world, or without thinking that gun guys are like this, all gun guys are like, or without developing these bad habits. So, okay, now my declarations are over with. For those who, I've had every kind of training there is. If you want to ask me about what I think of it compared to other training, I'm open to questions.
All right, so just to kind of get a summary of that, what you're kind of saying there is that you think that Appleseed has some value, but it should be more targeted towards existing shooters, people who have, been around the sport for a while, who kind of, I'm not going to say they necessarily know really well what they're doing, but they're not, coming in off the street with their Walmart 1022 special and a couple of bricks of 22 looking to kind of hang and bang and have a good time?
I'm not really. I'm saying that that's the state that it's in right now. I think it really should be focused a little more towards the beginner shooter. It still include all that fundamental marksmanship, but make it more beginner friendly. Make it okay. They would be upset at me for saying less political because their political message is important, but really do make it less political, and make it a little more towards just the fundamentals of gun handling and gun ownership, as well as the fundamentals of rifle marksmanship.
Okay, cool. All right, Chris, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave you on the air, but I'm going to mute your line here for a minute. And I'm